This is the River Garnock, just outside Kilwinning. The river, until 1865, used to run in a completely different course. It used to run down this direction. These drains coming in here probably were laid in the course of the old river. This section down here is the water cut, that is, a short length of canal that joined the two sections of a long loop of the Garnock, thereby allowing the loop itself to be filled in and used for agriculture and so on. This used to run past Dykehead Colliery, which is just here, and Dykehead Smithy, and further down it ran past Redburn, the Redburn's Colliery, and headed down to Bartonholm, and headed back up again to Nethermains and Longford. There were steps here, either Miss or Mess John's steps, stepping stones. There was also a ford that ran across, and a lane went up this direction running towards Nethermains Farm and so on. This is the old water cut lane running beside the canal section of the Garnock. The exit to the River Garnock, just down the other side of the bridge. Just the other side of the motorway here, the expressway, was where the river used to join near Dykehead Colliery. This is the old riverbank, with some of the trees that grew on it when it was still the river. This is looking down towards Redburn. This is the course of the old river. This runs down to where the stepping stones were beside Dykehead Colliery. The river ran right in front of the old Dykehead Smithy. So I'm standing in the riverbed itself here, obviously completely infilled. It's another very obvious section. The old riverbank running down there, another riverbank on the other side, and obviously still very wet here. This is just opposite the golf course, not far from Kids Nuke. There were actually two boathouses. One of them was in this area here somewhere. The other was down at the far end, close to where it joins the river. At this point the river took a very tight turn indeed and ran up towards Dykehead Colliery. Another thing that's completely vanished from here was that there was a railway, that was the Lanarkshire and Ayrshire Railway running down to Irvine Bank Street station, long gone. There's no sign of it at all now. The river actually ran beneath it. Down the far end, there is a bridge still going across the Garnock. But that isn't actually a railway bridge, it's the remains of an old aqueduct. This distinct band of wet-loving reed canary grass shows the course of the old river. The old Bartonholm bridge used to be here. Bartonholm itself was just the other side of the railway. Down the end here was the old Barney Pit with a mineral railway cut across the road. Also, bizarrely, was a boathouse here, in the sense you would never believe there had been one, presumably the Earls. This is the Garnock Floods Nature Reserve, and here's the Redburn running along the riverbed of the Garnock in that large loop. The loop comes out just beside Nethermains Bridge. This was still here in 1856, but had been drained, the river diverted through the canal by 1895. However, they had to divert the Redmire, the Redburn, along here. This is the Garnock at Longford, having returned to its natural course. The river used to run along this line here. This is the Garnock Floods, Scottish Wildlife Trust Nature Reserve. The Redburn runs in the bed of the old river. They had to divert it, extend it, because where it used to run into was no longer a river, so they had to extend it all the way across to enter here.